What's up, everyone? It is the man, it is the myth, it is the legend, it is Beso Profondo. How are y'all doing? Anyway, man, I got some news before I get started. Introduction into the class of what it's gonna be the basis. It's gonna be the thesis of what we're talking about today. Sadly, we had a nurse that passed at a young 33 because she had just gave birth to a child, and unfortunately she had died. I guess it was from blood loss. I guess it was from she probably had to have a C-section. But I wanted to give a warning to women of like that's under that's 30 and up. It's unfortunate what happened to this young lady, but see, when a girl goes past 30, she has a higher risk. She's gonna have a higher risk with pregnancy, meaning like this is the result of what could happen to her. And thankfully the child's okay though. The child's born, but unfortunately she lost her life because at like by 30, not only do they have a high risk pregnancy factor, a girl at by the time she reaches 30, you guys know I know my numbers, so you guys know that like you guys know I'm a numbers runner. And I'm good with my numbers. I'm a hustler. If my teacher asked me, like when I was in high school, before I graduated from high school, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say in economics, because I'm all about my numbers. Like if you ask me my age, I'm 30. I'm 35. If you ask me, if you think about it in your life, it's always how many batteries go in the remote. How big? Does the house got inches or does the house got acres? You always would ask, like, how long will it take you to cut the damn grass? Saying hours. You look at us, time matters, and if you look around us, everything is numbers, and numbers, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm always keeping up with the census, saying 80% of men are chasing women. That's why 20% of them are only having sex, and only 10% are making over $100,000 a year. And then when we get the Drake's numbers, it's that's only 1 to 2% men. Saying, so you barely will see these people. Saying they barely exist. So yeah, you know I'm all about my numbers. You know that if you ask me how many kids do I got, 0. Saying I'm gonna wait a little bit. You know, so you know men we age like 1. So anyway. It was unfortunate what happened to that lady, but I wanted to drop that information on y'all before we get started into the subject. So, anyway, let's go. Women get one shot at a 6-figure man is equal to a man has to position himself to get a dime piece. So anyway, you know, women practice hypergamy, and I don't blame them, meaning they want someone stronger than them, smarter than them, and richer than them. So you can't blame them for being selective and being picky about who they want to have a kid with or who they want to marry or make their boyfriend. So that's why, because you got to understand, right? Semen is cheap. That's why you can go to the sperm clinic in California, and it's not worth it because you're not really going to get much. But the sperm clinic isn't everywhere. But yeah, they don't get much. A man doesn't get much because you got to understand. And when it comes to a woman, in the terms of making a kid, how long would it take her in a year to make one kid? It would take her, how many kids can she make in 1 year? I mean
3, 2,
she can only make 1 kid. If I want it now, how many kids can I make in a year?
3, 2,
you know I'm a numbers man.
1.
I'm a numbers runner. Yeah, thousands. I can bring thousands of kids to terms. So that's why you got to understand, like, when it comes to sperm donation and embryo, the donation that they do for women, that's why, you know, women get paid way more for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because embryo expensive, sperm is cheap. So that's why women have to be selective. So a woman usually gets 1 shot. You know what I'm saying? Because just like a man has to be that 1 to 2%, it's kind of yin-yang or vice versa with women. Like a woman gotta be in the great Emirate countries where they're all rich, like all the Muslims and stuff. They pay. I think I said this before. They pay $1 to $3 million for a virgin girl. So if you look around you, the population, if she's pretty much over 2 bodies, that's why it's so rare. Saying, because men, we like tightness. That's why we like them young and stuff, because we like tightness. We want to make sure the kid is ours. We don't want to have to be taking care of a kid and then 10 years later he figure out the kid isn't his. So that's why men, that's why women got to be careful with who they have sex with. You know what I'm saying? Which, like, on the West where we're at, they're really not. They don't really honestly do that. They just go with anybody. But you can't, though, because they lose their value. That's why when you see most porn stars, they die alone. Because a woman gets one shot, and it's best always to make the decision if you're going to get married and you don't want to be a single mom. I mean, no one ends up wanting to be a single mom. You put girls in the room, 9 out of 10 will raise their hand that they didn't want to be a single mom. It just happened. But you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. So, a man, on the other hand, I already told you guys this, it don't really matter. It don't really matter how many girls he screwed. You know what I'm saying? Because if he can work himself and position himself, because like I always say, money makes you very handsome. Then he can always he basically the girl in high school that denied him or in middle school. You know what I'm saying? If he gets his money up by 35 and he's rich, he can most likely get that girl. But he can pull. A man can always pull himself up. And a woman can't. Saying like once she goes pretty much 2 bodies, she's kind of like at a worthless level. Because you gotta understand, the movie's how to be a player. Son, we know this movie in the 90s. Son, and we all know a player has a lot of friends, because men admire men that can get a lot of women just like women do. Son, now a woman that gets a lot of men is a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? She could be easily labeled a hoe. She could be, it's not good, because all the girls will be too scared to be around you, because they'll bring you around their boyfriend and they might think you'll fuck them. So this happens every day, and we all know this. So like, you know how we do. But anyway, I want to wrap this up, because you gotta know this is gonna take a long time to do the gifs. So my conclusion is, women have to protect their I don't want to say vagina like a diamond. Okay? You guys can't, if you want to have a high position in life, your body count matter. It says it like going to buy a car off the car lot and it got a high mileage. Saying, like, a man doesn't want to walk in somewhere and see somebody who fucked you and be, I fucked his wife. No man wants that. That makes a man feel very low. You know what I'm saying? So, women, keep them legs closed. Be selective on who you let hit. And men, you guys already know you have to climb the fucking ladder. Saying, because only 1 to 2%, 80% of you have to quit chasing women. Okay? Because only 1 to 2% is fucking like Drake and Jay-Z, Trump, all the people you can think of in Hollywood. Yeah, that's pretty much the 1 to 2%. And then we got the people that's making $100,000 that's at 10%. So you guys know you have to climb that ladder as if it's fucking burning behind you, because you're aging every day. So you'll be old one day and you want to have a great retirement and you want to have a beautiful woman to complete your life. Anyway, y'all have a good day. It's Beso Profondo. Like me on Facebook, like me on Instagram, and like me on YouTube. Yeah, and I built an X, but I got to figure out how to put videos on it, because they're saying to become a content creator, I got to spend $50. So I got to see what's up with that. But anyway, God bless. Peace.